Okay, so yesterday we did till question 12. Now let's start with question 13. So question 13 is, consider the following statements. Statement 1, the soil in tropical rainforest is rich in nutrients. So this is the wrong statement, because we know that in tropical rainforests the uh, there is a hot and humid temperature. So during the day the tropical rainforests receive a lot of insolation and sunlight, and because they are near to the equator, and after that in the evening the clouds build up and there is heavy rain every day in the evening, almost um, so almost throughout the year. So the first statement is wrong. So the soil is drained, so the soil is, due to the rain, the soil is not rich in nutrients, because the rainwater just drains the nutrients away. So statement 1 is wrong. And now let's see the second statement. So the high temperature and moisture of tropical rainforests cause dead organic matter in the soil to decompose quickly. So high temperature and moisture will be there, so obviously the organic matter will decompose quickly due to the bacteria and fungi and microorganisms, development of bacteria, fungi, microorganisms. So second statement is correct. So the answer will be option D, that is statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Now let's move on to the statement 14. So first statement, the question 14. So the first statement is that the temperature contrast between continents and ocean is greater during summer than in winter. So this is the correct statement, because as we know, we have to find the temperature contrast between the continents and the oceans. So first let's look at what is in winter. So during the winter the land gets cold and the water is also cool, but the land is more colder than the water, so there is a temperature difference, but both the land and the water is cool. And during the summer the land gets hot and the water remains cold, because the water evaporates and releases its the heat energy. So the land gets hot very quickly and the water remains cold. And during the day, so there is a land breeze from the land to the oceans, and during the night the land gets cold very early and the water is hot, that is the sea is hot, oceans are hot, so there is a sea breeze from the during the night, sea breeze from the sea to the land. So the first statement, the temperature contrast between continents and ocean is greater during summer than in winter, is correct, that it is greater during summer. And then the specific heat of water is more than that of land surface. This is also a correct statement. You will have to read the definition of specific heat in this case and just write the definition of the specific heat in the comments. Okay, so the answer will be A. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Now let's move on to the 15th question. Consider the following statements. In a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier than S waves. So as we know, P waves during an earthquake, the seismicity of the earthquake or the strength of an earthquake is measured by a seismograph, and it is measured on the seismograph, and it is measured on the Richter scale. So first, in a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier and the S waves. P waves are primary waves, S waves are secondary waves. So as we know, P waves, the particles vibrate to and fro in the direction of wave propagation, and in case of S waves, the particles vibrate up and down at right angles to the direction of the wave propagation. So first of all, seismograph P waves are recorded earlier than S waves. This is the correct statement, because particles vibrate to and fro, and in case of S waves, the particles vibrate up and down at the right angles to the direction of wave propagation. So both the statements are correct. So in case of 15th, the answer will be C, both 1 and 2. Then the 16th question, with reference to the coal based thermal power plants in India, Consider the following statements. None of them use seawater. None of them is set up in water stressed district. None of them is privately owned. So you can look here. UPSC has given some extreme statements here. That is, first one, you can see the third statement, that none of them is privately owned. We know that there are many coal based thermal power plants in India operated by many companies which are coal based, and they are thermal power plants and they are privately owned. So the third statement is wrong. Then look at the second statement. None of them is set up in water stressed district. We know that coal based thermal power plants require a lot of water, and then the water, it generates electricity by generating heat from the coal and using the and then from the heating the water, and the energy of the water vapor. So this is what happens in a coal based thermal power plant, but none of them is set up in the water stressed district. But there are many water stressed districts in India which are abundant in coal. So many of the coal power plants are set up there. And now the third one, so that there are many districts in Rajasthan also, in Gujarat also, and Jharkhand, all these places. None of them use seawater. So this is also a extreme statement. Seawater is also used in thermal power plants, especially during the in the thermal power plants which are set up near the sea or the sea coast. So instead of using the river water, seawater is only used. That is the salt water. Maybe it is purified before used, but before using, but seawater is used in thermal power plants in which are set up on the sea coast. So all the three statements are wrong. So the option will be 16D option, that is, none of the statements are correct. Now 17th question is regarding Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about with reference to which one of the following? Controlling the viral disease spread by mosquitoes, controlling crop residues into packing material, producing biodegradable plastics, producing biochar from thermochemical conversions of biomass. So in case of this is a current affairs based question. You have to read the newspaper every day if you want to attempt these types of questions, or monthly magazines are also given by the coaching centers. You can rely on that, but first this is a current affairs based question. So if you were doing current affairs regularly, you will be able to answer this question. The answer is A, controlling the viral disease spread by mosquitoes. In this Wolbachia method, it is used in some South American countries like Brazil, in which the male mosquitoes are released in the mosquito population, and these male mosquitoes are sterile and they cannot reproduce. So the mosquito population comes down. Then we look at the 18th question. Consider the following activities: spreading finely ground basalt rock on farmlands extensively, increasing the alkalinity of oceans by adding lime, and capturing carbon dioxide released by various industries and pumping it into abundant subterranean mines in the form of carbonated waters. How many of the above activities are often considered and discussed for carbon capture and sequestration? So the answer to this, first we will look at the first technique, spreading finely ground basalt rock on farmlands extensively. So basalt rock, what it happens, it captures carbon, and then this carbon can be used by the plants or any other, or during growth of plants or any other activity of plants. So this one is correct. Increasing the alkalinity of oceans by adding lime is basic, so it can capture carbon. So if alkalinity of oceans is increased, carbon capture can be done. Then capturing carbon dioxide released by various industries and pumping into abundant subterranean mines in the form of carbonated waters. So this is also a correct statement. So the option will be C, all the three. Then you have to read this topic, carbon sequestration, then you will understand these statements. Then there is the 19th question, aerial metagenomics from current affairs best refers to which one of the following situations? So collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat and one go, understanding the genetic makeup of avian species of a habitat. These questions are very confusing. The options are very confusing. Using airborne devices to collect blood samples from moving animals, sending drones to inaccessible areas to collect plant and animal samples from land surfaces and water bodies. So as you can see, C statement is an extreme statement, using airborne devices to collect blood samples from moving animals. This is a very extreme type of statement, and this has not been done till now. So this is wrong. Understanding the genetic makeup of avian species of a habitat, this can be correct. Or sending drones to inaccessible areas to collect plant and animal samples from land surface and water bodies, this can also be done, but the answer will be A, collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat at one go. So in case of aerial metagenomics, aerial samples of DNA samples are connected from air in a habitat at one go. And then the 20 questions is, microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which one of the following? Studying the evolutionary relationships among various species of fauna, stimulating stem cells to transform into diverse functional tissues, promoting clonal propagation of horticulture plants, assessing the efficacy of drugs by conducting series of drug trials in a population. So the answer to this question is studying the evolutionary relationship among various species of fauna. So this one is the first option is the correct statement. You have to write in the comments what are stem cells. So just comment. Okay. Stimulating stem cells to transform into diverse functional tissues. First statement is correct. Studying the evolutionary relationship among various species of faunas. We'll move to question number 21 with reference to the Indian history. Alexander Rhea, A.H. Longhurst, Robert Sewell, James Burgess, and Walter Elliot were associated with. So the option will be archaeological excavations. These all were archaeologists and during Indian period. So you have to remember this. You will find it in, this is a difficult question. You may leave it also, but you can find it in the book like Bipin Chandra book, all those types of books on history. With reference to Indian history, Alexander Rhea, A.H. Longhurst, Robert Sewell, and James Burgess, and Walter Elliot were associated with archaeological excavations. Then consider 20 following pairs: Base Nagar, Shaivite cave shrine; Bhaja, Buddhist cave shrine; Sita Navasal, Jain cave shrine. So feel these three are the so the option to these three are the locations, and these three are the options that they are well known for. So we know that Sita Navasal is known for Jain cave shrines, and Base Nagar is also known for Shaivite cave shrines. So I think second option is not correct. So Buddhist cave shrines in Bhaja, we have never studied that. So I think the option will be 22B, only 2. No. So Base Nagar is not known for Shaivite cave shrines, and Sita Navasal is also not known for Jain cave shrines. So the answer is Bhaja. That is, Bhaja is known for Buddhist cave shrines. So the answer will be 2. That is only 2. So the answer to 22 number question is 2. That is B only. B only 2. Then there comes this is an easy question. Consider the following statements. It is based on general knowledge. Statement 1: 7th August is declared as National Handloom Day. It was in 1905 that the Swadeshi movement was launched on the same day. So in case of this, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. 23rd, A is the correct answer. Then in case of 24th, this is the flag code of India. During last year Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the flag code was changed. Then you have to read this is a current affairs based question. So consider the following statements in respect to the national flag of India according to the flag code of India in 2002. So the first statement, that is 600 mm into 400 mm, is wrong, and the second ratio 3:2 is correct. There are many standard size of the flag. It can be 600 mm into 400, or it can be bigger than that also, so smaller than that also, though, but the ratio 3:2 is right. So statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. It is a common sense based question also. So statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct, so D is the answer. So let's move further. But you have to keep in mind that this is a very confusing question also, because like 3:2 is the ratio in case of 600 mm to 400 mm, but it is not the standard size. There are many other standard size which have been prescribed in the flag code, in which 600 mm into 400 mm is not there. So we have to keep in mind that it is a tricky question also. We'll move on to 25th question. The Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote constitutional values among citizens. This is a correct question. This is the correct statement. And on 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare draft Constitution of India. So this is not correct. On 26th November, the Constitution came into force 1949, and some of the provisions of the Constitution came into force on 26 January 1950, and some of the provisions came into force on 26 November 1949. The draft Constitution of India was prepared way before it, and the drafting committee also was set way before it. So second question is wrong. Second statement is wrong, so the answer will be statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Then we'll move on to the 26th question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value. Switzerland has the second largest gold reserves in the world. So this is a current affairs based question, and you have to also apply your brain here and some common sense also, and you have to also think about it a little bit. So like, see, Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value, so this can be correct, but we all know that Switzerland does not have the second largest gold reserves in the world. The second largest gold reserves in the world is in China, I think. So then the second statement is wrong, and Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value is correct. So statement 26C is the answer. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Then we come to 27th question. Consider the following statements. Recently, the United States of America and European Union have launched the Trade and Technology Council. The USA and EU claim that through this they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. So in this question, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So this is a current affairs based question. United States, that is USA and European Union, have launched the Trade and Technology Council, and this body is trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. So there are many points in this Trade and Technology Council which have to be which the manufacturers also have to abide by, and the corporations and the companies also, as well as so that the people consuming the technology and the electronic products don't face difficulties. So this is all about it. We'll do further questions in the next video. Okay, see you in the next video. Hope you found this video informational.